Chapter 143, Mountains Topple. Your father is my precious son. When I talk about him, other than feeling proud, I feel even more regretful. Xue Fanxin thought of his son and sighed emotionally. His son, Xue Fanxin, had been a talented genius since he was young. He had achieved many astonishing results in the Nanling Empire. At the age of 10, he broke through to the spirit building realm. At 15, he had reached the spirit refining realm. Then, he left the Nanling Empire and went out to seek his own adventures. After Xue Fanxin left the Nanling Empire, there had been very little news about him. Slowly, everyone forgot about him. Who knew that 5 years later, he would return with his infant daughter? Furthermore, his temperament had changed dramatically. He was no longer the sunny youth of the past, but steady and reserved. He often shut himself in his study, and nobody knew what he was doing. A year later, Xue Fanxin left behind a letter for his daughter and disappeared. To this day, there had been no news, and it was unknown if he was dead or alive. I once sent people to look for him, but I couldn't find any news for several years. Later, because of the pressure from the Nanling Emperor, the Duke's estate gradually declined, so I stopped the search. From the letter he left behind, I could tell that he was about to embark on a dangerous mission. And the chances of him surviving were very small. I'm afraid he's no longer in this world. Grandpa, as long as you haven't seen Dad's corpse and aren't certain of his death, don't give up hope easily. Has Dad really never mentioned Mom's background to you? Xue Fanxin asked. In the modern 21st century, she was an orphan. Since she was the real Xue Fanxin was her biological father. No matter what, she had to find out who her parents were and if they were still alive. If they were, where would they be now? Grandpa doesn't know your mother's background. I only heard from your father that she was not an ordinary person. By the way, before your father left, he repeatedly warned me not to touch any of the books in the study. Books in the study? The greatest secret in the study should be the 3 empty books, which were the reverse spirit heaven wheel. From the looks of it, the reverse spirit heaven wheel must have been left behind by her father, and it was left specifically for her. What had happened to her father and mother? Little Xiner, do you know something? Xue Fanxin saw Xue Fanxin deep in thought and asked curiously. Xue Fanxin shook her head and did not want to say too much. After all, the fewer people who knew about the reverse spirit heaven wheel, the better. Learning about it might not be a good thing. Grandpa, your meridians and danshin have been healed. Rest well. It won't be long before you recover your cultivation. Yes. It's really thanks to my precious granddaughter. Little Xiner, what are your plans next? Are you going to stay in this estate forever? How is that possible? Although a Jiu treats me well, I don't want to rely on him for everything. In this world, mountains topple and water flows. Relying on yourself is the most practical thing. Little Xiner is right. It's better to rely on yourself than others. Furthermore, Jiushang is a member of the royal family and their waters run deep and dirty. Grandpa doesn't want you to be involved. If small fries like us, who don't have strength and background, are to be involved in the struggle for the throne, we will basically be used as pawns or tools to be sacrificed. Grandpa, don't worry, your granddaughter is not someone to be bullied. In short, rest well and recover your strength. Leave the rest to me, Xue Fanxin vowed. Since the grandfather and granddaughter pair had already come to the Tongguxuan realm, there was no need for them to return. After all, there was nothing worthy of them staying for in the Nanling Empire. Instead of going back, she might as well gain a foothold here. Perhaps she could obtain even more. And that Xue family, she would make them pay back 10-fold or 100-fold for how they had treated her grandfather back then.